Good evening. I'll try to make it quick. Gary Samad, Cook Street in Auburn. When I was here last time, I made a suggestion that when you make some cuts, that you present what the consequences are of these cuts. And I'm seeing, reading, hearing that we don't know all the consequences of the cuts that are possibly being made in this budget. What I'd like to talk about tonight is the fire department and the enforcement of the codes. As we know, Portland had 6 fatalities, Biddeford had 2 fatalities. I was one of the investigators in the Biddeford fire for not only the fire investigation, but for the code issues as well. My associate was involved with the Portland fire, with the fire investigation and the code enforcement. So we still have some, I'm still involved with this quite influentially. Because of that, a lot of fire departments are increasing their code enforcement, as well as the cities and communities, ranging from Lewiston's hiring another full-time investigator and code enforcement. Portland's putting 6 new inspectors on the road. Biddeford is doing something, I'm not sure what they're doing, but they're going with at least 1 or 2 more, plus the trucks are going out inspecting. Bangor is sending more of their trucks out to do more apartment houses. A lot of communities were doing business inspections, but they weren't doing apartment buildings. I just heard earlier tonight that we've got a problem up on Hampshire Street. We have some deteriorating buildings, apartment buildings in Auburn that really need to be taken care of. As a background, I was a fire prevention officer for the city of Auburn for 13 years. I'm very intimate with the building, the city. I know what's going on. And I used to have all the trucks, 5 of them would go out 2 days a week and do what they call block inspections. Now they're down to 3 trucks 1 day a week because the rescue trucks don't go out. For your information, I don't know if anybody did any research, but when you let the fire chief go and wanted to do a consolidation, Augusta, Waterville, and Westbrook all did the public safety. They've gone back to the way it used to be. It didn't work for them. And those are communities about the same size as ours. When you deal with codes, this city is big enough that we need specialized people to deal with specialized codes. I dealt with the life safety code and the fire codes, of which there's over 200 that are adopted by the state either through statutes or reference. Because the city of Auburn is over 2,000 people in population, the city is required to inspect, have an inspection program. How they do it is their choice. A few years ago, I was requested to go work at City Hall in the planning and permitting department, and I would become a building inspector as well as a fire inspector. I told the manager back then, it's not going to work. When you go inspect the building, you as a property owner, you need to be told why the codes are the way they are. And when I was doing the inspections, I did not even want to get into the building codes because I didn't know them that well, but that's what they wanted me to do. I didn't know the building codes, and there was no way that I was going to try to tell somebody something that I didn't know and they knew more than I did. Just like the building inspectors did not try to tell the people about fire codes because they didn't know about all the fire codes. Yes, some of the codes do overlap, but most of them are separate. And you need the specialized people to do it and go from there. Can't even read my own writing here. So I see where you want to merge the planning and permitting department. In my professional, in my experience, I think that's not a good choice. I think you need the people to do their specialties. You will get the work done quicker. When I was in a position, when people would ask me questions, I ran across a problem. If I didn't have the answer, I knew where to go to get it real quick. And I didn't have to go looking a long time unless it was a unique thing. When you start having people cross over, you're going to spend more time with them doing the research to figure out where it is, because if any of you have ever dealt with codes, they're a unique thing to work with. They're not easy to work with. You don't memorize them. You need to know where to go get them. So at this point, I think combining them is not the right thing to do. And in my opinion, if you are going to merge the department, I think you probably ought to take away one of the top managers and put more boots on the ground. And you just adopted a new code, property maintenance code, a few weeks ago. If you're going to adopt the codes, you need to enforce them. That's one of the big things that I've heard a lot of is they've got the codes and not even enforcing what they have now. If you're adopting more codes, you need the people to enforce the codes. when I was working with the city, we had 5 inspectors at City Hall. That included health and inspectors and building inspectors. Now we're down to 3, I believe. So, and the last thing I'd like to say is, having this whole program go through, I don't think you were made aware of all the consequences. And when the manager tries explaining something, I hear the mayor saying, well, I think what the manager said is this. I think I'd like to hear it from the manager himself, because if the manager not telling me what his program is, or the city what the program is, leads me to believe that the mayor may be running this program. And I just think I'd like to hear the manager say what's going on if it's his program. Thank you.